Louis Vuitton versus Goyard, which is the better brand? Hello everyone, welcome back to another mommy review where I review all things for the love of. Today I am checking out Louis Vuitton versus Goyard, which is the better brand. Now, before I get started, if you like the content on this channel, I appreciate it very much if you consider giving this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel. Thank you so much for considering, and on with the video. So both of these brands, Louis Vuitton and Goyard, are like these two luxury French fashion houses that has been associated with classic, like elegance, and like they are both like very prestigious brand. They create beautiful handbags that are classic, timeless design yet still functional. So it's really hard to choose between the two. So for this video, I want to compare these two French fashion houses and go over their history, their design, their pricing, their quality, their style, their exclusivity, their quality, their material, resale value, and come to the final conclusion. Louis Vuitton versus Goyard, which is the better brand. So let's get started. History. Starting off with the house of Goyard. Now, originally it was named Maison Martin in 1792. And then the company was making boxes and it was like known as trunk makers for the French aristocracy. And then later on, Maison Martin was hired by Francois Goyard as an apprentice and specialized in trunk making, and that was in 1952. So I think officially for Goyard, it was established in France and founded specifically in 1853 was when the year that the company was founded. So comparing that to Louis Vuitton, Louis Vuitton was founded in 1954, so as a year younger, also established in Paris, France. Originally is again known for trunk making for the French Empress, and just made a lot of like travel and like gained a lot of popularity among the elite for stackable trunks. Next, let's go over design. Starting off with Louis Vuitton, we know that Louis Vuitton is known for like their monogram canvas that came about in 1896. Initially, it was a beautiful kind of geometric and floral design to help counter counterfeit. There are just many color variations of it, and I think overall the design for Louis Vuitton are very posh, chic, just elegant, timeless classics. They also have the demi-urbaine pattern. That's like a really iconic pattern created in 1888, which is part of like the big success for Louis Vuitton. In general, I would say Louis Vuitton is known for kind of doing a mashup of both classic and also modern trends. They do have like a very large variety of styles and use very large variety of different materials. So if you're looking for variety and options to choose from for handbags that are slightly more trendy or with like a slight classic twist, I would probably go for Louis Vuitton. Whereas for Goyard, so for Goyard, just like Louis Vuitton, it boosts its like heritage associated with the brand. They also has their own monogram or their own pattern that they're known for on their canvas. I think the pattern that you see today is introduced in 1892. As you can see here, it consists of like a multicolor of dots, as well as a pattern that stands for the letter Y in the Goyard name. I would say that Louis Vuitton has a little bit more variety compared to Goyard. Goyard has fewer styles in comparison, but I think Goyard still has a very elegant and simple, luxurious look, which is like a great option if you're looking for like timeless heirloom piece. Next, I want to talk about pricing. So we all know that Goyard and Louis Vuitton have no sales in a year. Louis Vuitton bags can range roughly between $2,000 to $8,000. Of course, even higher than that for some of the exotic skins like lizard skin that can range up to like 36,000 plus. Whereas Goyard, I would say, is not as easily accessible because you can't buy it off their website. You have to go to the boutique. But their bags are not cheap either, starting around, I would say, around $1,400 upwards towards like $6,000. Now, the unfortunate thing is that Goyard does not provide pricing for their handbags on their website, but you can find plenty of websites that will give you a rough price listing for how much they would cost. Comparing between Goyard and Louis Vuitton, I would say on average the cost of the handbags are pretty similar between Louis Vuitton and Goyard. I think maybe the difference is around 200 USD on average, with Louis Vuitton pricing indicated on their website and being like updated on a very timely basis. And with the regular price increases in general, I find that a lot of the Louis Vuitton handbags are maybe a little bit pricier, maybe $200 or more pricier, but in the grand scheme of things, given how much the handbag is pretty similar between the two brands. Louis Vuitton, I would say, make luxury fashion a little bit more affordable for a larger audience just because they have a larger selection of handbags and also smaller leather goods to choose from. Exclusivity. There is no doubt that both Louis Vuitton and Goyard are just like very exclusive handbag brands, but I would say between the two, Goyard is a little bit more exclusive. There are a more limited number of stores available to purchase these handbags from, and like you can really just purchase them in store or pre-loved because you can't buy them online, unlike Louis Vuitton that mass produce their handbags. Whereas Louis Vuitton, you can find that their prices are readily available on their website. They also update the prices quite regularly, and there's many luxury department stores across the world, including like their flagship store in Paris, London, and New York. So in terms of exclusivity, I think that Goyard definitely wins in this category. The brand doesn't advertise its handbag, yet still get plenty of clientele willing to make the trip, line up, and purchase a handbag from this prestigious brand. Whereas Louis Vuitton, I think, is available to a wider audience given it's available online, offline, and you can also save some money by shopping pre-loved as well. If you're walking down the street, I also find that on average you're more likely to find a Louis Vuitton handbag as opposed to a Goyard. So definitely think Goyard takes the cake for exclusivity for handbags. Quality. When it comes to quality, I find that like the purse forums have been really debating about which brand is better. It's hard to compare. I think on average they're pretty similar. If you look at Louis Vuitton, for example, I think that their canvas tote, like the Neverfull, is quite sturdy. It's a little bit thicker for their canvases, whereas for Goyard, I find that their canvas is a little bit thinner, but on the pro side, it's a little bit lighter. Louis Vuitton canvas is made of cotton coated with PVC, whereas Goyard canvas is made from linen and cotton coated with natural resin. But I think both brands are very high quality, meant for durability and like to last a long time. Materials. For Louis Vuitton, they are for sure known for their monogram handbags. It is so iconic with the cotton coated with PVC. They're super durable and easy to clean. Very popular choice for a starter handbag from Louis Vuitton. At the same time, it's important to mention that Louis Vuitton has like a large variety of materials that they make their handbags in, including leather, suede, and many exotic skins, including crocodile. If you look at Goyard specifically, I would say that for Goyard, they specialize in canvas called like marine canvas. that's like linen coated with PVC. This material is very sturdy and like easy to maintain, but I don't think they have as many variety of leather option compared to Louis Vuitton that has like all these exotic skins. I mean, Goyard do have leather handbags and suede handbags as well. Next, let's look at resale value. Resale value really depends on the age of the handbag as well as the condition of the handbag, and at the same time, not to mention like how rare the handbag is. Louis Vuitton on average spends a lot on advertisements, so it does appeal to a much larger audience, I would say, compared to Goyard. A lot of people know about Louis Vuitton and they have so many regular price increases. The unfortunate thing is, because it's such a high prevalence for counterfeit, I think that the resale value for Louis Vuitton is just not as good because of that. But I guess they counter it with regular price increases, so that is one thing to know. Whereas if you look at Goyard specifically, I think that Goyard tends to keep its value a little bit more just because it's harder to buy brand new, and thus making resale market like a very good alternative for people who can't go to the store themselves because it's not available to purchase online. So if you find the right, I guess, person who's interested, generally you'll get a really good price for your Goyard handbag as opposed to Louis Vuitton, but definitely easier to sell Louis Vuitton given that there's just a much larger audience for it. So what is my final conclusion? Goyard versus Louis Vuitton, which is the better brand? Honestly, I don't think you can really make a bad decision between these two brands. Both brands come from the same origin in France, in the heart of like the fashion capital Paris. Goyard is a little bit older by 1 year from Louis Vuitton, and that's something to add to their name. Both brands carry like beautiful handbags, just really classic and beautiful styles, very timeless and functional. But if you have to decide, I think one thing is, if you're looking for a signature canvas for both Louis Vuitton and Goyard, maybe part of it is depending on like your preference for your style, or maybe a color depending on your wardrobe on what matches with you. Goyard definitely have a more variety in terms of canvas colors to choose from, whereas Louis Vuitton is known for their classic monogram and damier ebene. But like both are very timeless design for their canvas. If you're looking for something more exclusive, more rare, not like run of the mill that you see a lot when you're walking down the street, I think Goyard is probably your choice. Definitely has a richer history, but in terms of quality, both handbag brands are like very good in terms of quality. So if you're looking for something a bit more simplistic elegance, I think Goyard is a great way to go. If you're looking for something more loud and proud, I think the monogram from Louis Vuitton is definitely a statement piece, and definitely a piece that stands out. Louis Vuitton does offer a larger variety of options in terms of styles for handbags, so if you're looking for variety for handbags, I think Louis Vuitton would definitely be your choice. But that's not to say Goyard doesn't have a large variety. I just think that the options are a little bit more limited. So what kind of bag do you prefer? Out of Goyard versus Louis Vuitton, which is your pick? Are you team Louis Vuitton or team Goyard? I would love to hear from you. And if you have any experiences with both of these handbag brands, I would love to know your preference. Well, that's it for today. Thank you so much for joining me on this mommy review, and I'll see you next time. Take care and stay safe, everyone. Bye for now.